welcome along and welcome back to Attingham Park. Today we're gonna get this started mulching the final field that needs doing this year. That is this wheat field over here. It's not going to be planted for quite a while. We've got sorghum going into this, so it's going to be sort of early next year that this gets planted. We'll set our course up quickly and get that going. So there we go. That's all set up. And then we should very easily be able to go first waypoint. Yeah, that is over there. And set that up. Unfold. And away that goes. Not too far off where it needs to start up. And then next we need to get the 7610 here headed down to field 6, where our 7810 is already hard at work seeding the last field of canola we need to do before winter. Let's set a new course for the 7610 as well, with the same settings as before. And that looks like that is matching our seeder, which is great news. So we'll take this down to the bottom corner and get going. And then I'll cover what we're going to be doing over the next day or so. Getting stuff rolled is going to be massively important. So what we choose to do after field 6 a day needs to be a field that we can also make sure we get fully rolled today as well. Let's bring this over here, unfold this, and like the last field we did, the roller is well within where the seeder is working. First waypoint, and away that goes. And hopefully the seeder can keep this going faster than the 7610 is rolling it, because we really want this to stay behind the seeder, although of course it does need to do at least as much work as the seeder is doing today. So what's our plan for this seeder? What do we still need to get done in October, and what do we need to get done in November? Well, we basically have a window of 2 more days to get our winter wheat in, which we haven't started yet, and our canola needs to be done by the end of today. So we've got this final field of canola to do here now. We're going to get that planted, and we're planting that here in field 6. We have already planted field 12A and field 2C. So you can see the results of that there. Everything is already mulched as well, which is great, other than 2A, which is being done. We're then going to head back, and we're going to try and get field 1 planted with winter wheat today. If we can do that, we should be able to get that rolled as well. That then leaves the smaller field 2B and the very large 12C to get planted after that. We will probably, because of the time it will take, we'll do 12C in the first day of November and then 2B in the second day, because we need to get them both rolled as well. So there's still a fair amount of work to do. 3, 2B and 12B are all going to be planted with sorghum in the new year. So hopefully that means that we're going to be in a really good place by November, with plenty of stuff in the ground and sorted and all good. One thing we do have to do today is deal with the weed problem in this field here. 12A has been planted with canola for a while, and as you can see, it is absolutely full of weeds. So we're going to be getting the hoe out with the 8340 once that's finished mulching, and start that on this job next. In the meantime, we need to keep our seeder running, and that is going to be with this little tractor here. So we are very much on refill duty at the moment until the 8340 has finished its mulching job and we can get on with doing the weeding. So let's unclip these and get the first bag of that on. And in the nick of time as well, because our seeder has just turned around and said it needs refilling. And it's actually nice and close to where we are. So let's open that up. And then we can fill this with this and keep it running. It's going to be efficiency today. That's going to be our keyword. We're going to need to get that, keep things running as best we can with this. I think this might run out of seeds next, so I'll probably put the seed bag on the front. Close that up. And in the meantime, as you can probably see down the other end of the field, we're going to need to nurse the roller through the rest of this field. In fact, I think what I might do is see if I can't keep the roller going myself while we are here and while we're working the field, because it seems to be having a little bit of a problem with those headlands. Right, so as this is blocked here, let's take that off, back it up a bit, and bring this around here and see if I can't do the rolling for these rows. So bring it up to there, down with the rollers, and it should get a little bit easier the further up this field it goes. I'm hoping that it's not going to have too much hassle to keep this going. In fact, let's turn those off and try and keep to our own setups. Wow, this needs a little bit more pull than I was expecting. Right down to 1H. We're keeping fairly good pace with the seeder with our 7610 at the moment. I'm hoping that I'll be able to catch it up and keep fairly close to it while we do the rest of this field. And this is the thing, it should be fairly easy for me to do that. Probably a little bit easier than it was for Courseplay too, because Courseplay tends to muck around a little bit more. I am doing the thing that Courseplay did though, and lifting the rollers. Not something that would probably happen too realistically normally, but it fits in with what we're doing here, and how we're trying to keep things very similar from that regard. That way, if I do need to reactivate Courseplay and get that running on here again, we will be able to. I am trying to keep a straighter line than I've done on that last row, but it all seems to be running fairly well. As I expected, the next refill for the seeder though was for seeds and not the fertilizer, which is good. We are using a slightly higher seed rate on this field than we were on our last couple. The seed rate should drop for the next field, for field 1, because it's on loam and not on the silty clay that we're putting this in here. It should work out far better for us. So we're gonna bring this around and load this into the seeder. So open that up. I'm working this field like this with one hired worker basically and myself. I think it's a really good way to go. It's nice and efficient. I can keep my eye on what's happening with the seeder, and everything's working out fairly well. And doing the roller rather than the seeder itself means that everything stops when the seeder does, first off. Because I'm running the seeder's setup, or I'm then having to go and refill the seeder, so we don't get it catching up to the seeder there. And also, Courseplay on the seeder is setting the area that's seeded, so all I have to do is stick to that with my roller. The 8340 has finished work. That is our final field that needs mulching, so I need to go and pay some attention to that tractor for a bit Fortunately, we're not massively off the courseplay course. So I'm going to lift this up. We will turn on the eye and see where everything is. And looks like it's... Wow. I think we'll send it so it goes over a little bit where it's been before. And do this one here. Looks like we weren't wholly straight on this again. So set that off. That then should get into that row there. And that leaves those two working again while we pick up this. And in fact, it's missed a small bit of mulching here. So I'm going to unfold this. We will clear this course because we don't need that anymore. And just mulch this last little bit in this corner. Bring this up. Now, everything here, the tractor could do with a wash. The mulcher could do with a wash, because the mulcher is done for the year. So let's head this back to the yard and get this all washed. We'll refuel the tractor as well, because that's always a good idea. And just check the status of the tractor. Yeah, the tractor's in well enough repair that we don't need to worry about that. So around to here, give this a good wash, put our mulcher away and get the weeder out so that we can get rid of those medium weeds. Otherwise, we are going to be regretting that in the near future. We are down to 936 litres of fuel. But thankfully, the tractors themselves don't take a huge amount of fuel. So we don't need a massive amount of fuel on the farm. We're going to have to... Well, the combines are sitting out there on that pad. Because we're going to have to get those repaired and washed and everything. And put away for winter. I'm very much considering putting in a shed there actually to store those in. Seeing as we're storing the sorghum on the floor in the shed that I was previously storing the harvesters in. So let's get this parked up. And yeah, I can see the weeder from here. Hopefully it's easily accessible enough. So bring this back around here. Yeah, it should be. I think this mulcher goes in the end here. And this is what I was talking about last time, actually. We've got that little fertilizer spreader. And I think the best bet we've got is to put some Isaria Pro sensors on the 7610, I think, probably, or possibly the 7810, and just go and spread a little bit of extra fertilizer on those fields, just because it will even things out. Now, in the past, I've been against sort of adding GPS to this stage of tractor, because it doesn't, you have to make fairly extensive modifications to have the auto drive set up for GPS and things like that. What I'm thinking, though, is the Isaria crop sensors are things you add on to the sides of the wing mirrors. They don't have any effect on the control of the tractor, just on the amount that gets spread. And from that point of view, I think that actually they make a lot of sense to have on the farm. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put those on. It's a small touch of modern technology on the older equipment, but I think it makes sense and I think it works. So yeah, that's where we're going to go. Now, this doesn't have care wheels on, but I don't think this is grown enough for that. No. So again, this is the beauty of doing this at this stage. I am slightly there's one thing I'm slightly annoyed about. One of these came up in the shop for sale a couple of months ago, and I missed it. I meant to buy it at the beginning of the episode, and I completely forgot that it was there. And yeah, kicking myself because we're having to lease this one, and as a result, it's costing us money every month to have it about. We will eventually buy it because obviously it's on a lease to buy, and I was thinking of buying it this year because it is really useful to us. But yeah, we could have had one much cheaper. Our seeder is once again out of fertilizer, so I'm just bringing another bag of that up to here. Let's just get that open. Bring this in and in with fertilizer. The weeding's going fairly well. It's burning through that field of canola, so we're looking fairly good there. That will be the first field we have to harvest next year, of course, because the canola is in so early. I am determined not to make the same mistakes that we made this year at all. So I want to get rid of all the weeds nice and early. I want to get all of the fields in nice and early. Basically make sure that we are in the best position we can be. That is off. I just need to go and return this tractor, and then we can go and get rid of the rest of those weeds. The roller is also doing well, so that should be not too far behind the seeder by the end of this field. I am slightly concerned how long the seeding on field 6 is taking. We really need to keep on track today and get 2 fields planted. Now, while it's doing the headland, and I'm not too worried actually about the seeder finishing 2 fields today, we do need to get the roll around them as well. Now, the answer to that possibly is to get 2B done next. It's a slightly smaller field than field 1, so it might be possible to get around that, especially considering that I don't think there's a huge amount of difference between the size of field 1 and field 6. Let's get this started and running on the row in the right direction like that, and then we can have a look at this. So looking at the sizes here, field 1, if we come here, I think will tell me roughly how big it is. So field 1 is 2 hectares, whereas field 6 is 2.5. Field 2, I can't tell from that, but if we go to course play here, I should be able to pick field 2B. There we go. It's 1.6. So yeah, there we go. So field 6 is 2.54. Field 1 is 2.03. So it's half a hectare less, which is possibly what we already had covered on field 6. And then field 2B again is another half a hectare less. So given the current time constraints, we are probably best off switching over to field 2B. We should be able to get around it with the seeder quickly enough, and possibly, well, I'm also expecting to be able to get around it with the roller quickly enough, although we are coming up to 3 in the afternoon. But 2 fields like that out in one day would be great. What I am slightly concerned about is how quickly we can get field 12C done. So that is going to be our target for next time, our biggest field on the farm. That will need hitting early in November with the wheat. I'm not too worried about our roller though, and our seeder. In fact, yeah, the roller is at this point only half a round behind the seeder, so we should be able to hit the point at the end of this field where the seeder is done. We can get that over to field 2B, start getting the wheat planted in there, which will be great, and then we'll be in a position with the roller. Possibly we'll need to do a little bit of cleanup with the roller here, and there's a few bits, especially at this end of the field, it's missed. But once we've done that, what we'll be able to do is then go and get this moved over to 2B and hopefully get that rolled today as well. As I said before, I'm not too worried as long as if rolling into the night as long as we have a good reason for that. And the good reason very much is that we are be out of time otherwise, and it's not abnormal for work to go on until the evening. So yeah, this is going much better than expected here. It's just whether in a couple of hours we can get field 2B planted. Thankfully, we do have enough seed and fertilizer in the Massey Ferguson seeder here to make it to the end of the field. So I'm just keeping an eye on this, getting it to the end. We'll immediately refill it with seed and fertilizer, so empty what we've got on the trailer onto here. That way we know that this can go straight up to the field and start working. Also give me an opportunity to go and probably grab another bag of fertilizer, maybe a couple of bags of fertilizer, and another bag of seed. I think we might have enough seed, but I'm going to hedge my bets a little bit. And then as this comes to the end of the field and we are all done, maybe, I think this counts as all done. So we're going to turn that off there and bring this up here, get this refilled. We're then out of the way of the roller, which isn't going to be too far behind us. We can open these up, grab this and refill from here. The big issue we've got, unless next day is going to be a good selling day, I think we are in a point where we can't actually afford a huge amount of stuff, and we have 3 wheat fields to do. So yeah, we may have to go and sell some more crops slightly early. Anyway, let's fill this up with seed. Yeah, we've got a couple of little bags of seed sitting here that need emptying and doing. So we'll get both of those in. If that doesn't fill it up completely, actually it doesn't matter if it doesn't fill it up completely, because we've got another bag here, but I don't think there's much point in putting it in yet. The roller has reached the end of the field, so that's good news. We've got about an hour and a half-ish, by the looks of things, to get the that field seeded. And yeah, there we go. That is completely topped up with seed. Now I just want to top it up with fertilizer as well. So bag of double top into there. Oh wow, I think I hit a tree branch. There we go. I can't see out of the roof of this, but yeah, this will top this up. It will probably take most, if not all, of this as well, which does just tell me I need to go and buy more fertilizer. Yeah, 71 liters short of taking all of the fertilizer from that. So we need to go and transfer this seeder over to field 2B, and then we can come back here, get the roller transferred over as well, get that following behind the seeder, and then finally we'll get this lot back and probably take this to the shop to see if we can get some more fertilizer and some more seed as well. I had a thought while I was leaving the field that I should just set the rollers to be on follow me and come along with us. So yeah, that's what I've done. We've got both of these tractors back. I am going to just take this straight down to the field, but the rollers and the 7810, we need to stop here because the 7610, because it is in need of a bit of a repair. So we've got plenty of time to get that done. Meanwhile, our hoe is nearly at the end of that field, so that's good news. This is going to be a bit of a tight one, and as I said, I think the roller is probably going to be going into the evening. We want to get wheat, the winter wheat, in this field here. So around the bottom, everything is nice and full. We want to clear that, create a new course, and generate that. There we go. We need to be in the top corner of the field. And once we have this running, we'll be able to just get the rollers in behind it. Yeah, there's no way this whole field is getting done in half an hour. But we do need to get it started, and I think these two tractors are probably going to be going into the night as a result. We've got wheat selected. Let's get to it. Meanwhile, I need to get the 7610 fixed, so we'll do that quickly. Shouldn't be too expensive, this. That there. Oh, wow. 1,300. That's not ideal. Yeah, that's, I think we're not going to be able to afford a huge amount of extra stuff. So I'm hoping that some of our crop is going to hit its best price early, because we're going to have to get the truck out tomorrow and get working on that. Basically, all of our tractors are going to be going at about the same sort of rate as they've been going today for the next 2 days. The difference is we're going to have to be stalling crop and doing and keeping things supplied for those 2 days. So let's go and clear this and then generate a new course. I actually want to change the corners to sharp and generate again, because we've had an issue with that. Close course generator. And we'll get this up the top corner, following our seeder, which is 2 rows in. Hopefully the seeder will stay nicely ahead, but I can't guarantee it. We'll see what happens. Bring up this first waypoint, and have we gone past it? No, not quite. About there-ish, away it goes. And actually, this won't roll at anything that hasn't been seeded, because it's a direct seeder, and therefore it doesn't quite. Well, the ground hasn't been touched prior to that. I just hope it stays far enough back and is going slow enough for the seeder to pull out a little bit of a lead. We had a breakdown with this tractor, so the 7810 is, I think, in need of some repairs before we continue. It's a little bit of a blow for this evening, but if we have a look at it, yeah, it's way under. So yeah, we're going to need to take this tractor back to the shed and get it repaired. As a result, I think what we'll do tonight is we'll make sure all of the crop that we've seeded so far gets rolled in, so that's all done. We can then go from there and get all of the we can continue then tomorrow and try and get 2B and some of field 12C planted, and then I think our last day, our last seeding window, we'll probably be able to get 12C finished and field 1. It's gonna be tight and we are gonna have to work fairly hard, but it's 6:30 now. The light is fading, and yeah, we've got a tractor that is slightly broken and in need of a bit of repair. So we'll bring this over here. We'll park it in the yard afterwards as well. How much is the repair going to be? 2,204. That all but confirms as well that we're going to need to sell some crop tomorrow in order to continue. But again, that's fine. We can do that without too much hassle. So we'll park this tractor over here by the combines, ready for use in the morning. And we just got a little bit more of our weeds to fix and a little bit more of the rolling to do. So the weeds that are left are just the end of this row. And then that is this field, nicely weed free, I believe. We'll give it a quick check and just make sure that that is the case. Weeds. Yep, 12A is now completely weed free. And we've just got a little bit of 2B that needs rolling. So rolling this in will mean everything that we've planted is rolled and we don't have to then worry about it next day. I think that's probably, yeah, that's a medium pile of stones. I'm hoping that most of the stones on here aren't still medium sized, but that might not be the case. I think we've got a couple in here that are slightly larger. I need to back this up a little bit because there's a section there. And then that will be this field done and, well, started. Done and dusted, not quite. Done and started, which is great. And we don't have to worry about that. We got at least got a little way into the field, which it could have been much, much worse. We've still got a long way to go, and we've got just 2 days to get the winter wheat planted. So can we do it, especially as the largest field on the farm is part of that? Join us next time and find out. For now, though, all that remains is for me to say
thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. Special thanks to all my patrons and channel members. Your support is invaluable in making these videos and helping the channel to grow. For more from Virtual Farmer, check out the links below, follow on Twitch to watch live, and for more videos, subscribe and ring that bell. I will see you next time. Goodbye.